No intro, no outro, just straight fire. All right, so here is another case study video, and EURUSD is my baby. So outside of the volume profile, I can trade this pair like every which way. So I got a good question from one of my mentees, and my mentee was like, what if there's a pair that I favor and I draw out my volume profile, however, there is no directional bias for the week? How do I go about if I still want to trade that pair? And what I told my student, my one-on-one mentee, is supply and demand. So people be sleep on supply and demand, but supply and demand can really make or break your trading, especially if you know what you're looking for. So how I like to look at supply and demand, obviously supply is for sells and demand is for buys. Again, S supply, sells, D demand, buys. And what I like to mark up as supply and demand zones are swing points. So right now I'm on the daily, and let me just really clear my charts. All right, I'm on the daily. And what I consider swing points are 5 candle formations. So prime example, what I mean by that is, let's do this. What I mean by that is, you see this high right here. If you look to the left, you have 1, 2 candles that are lower than it. You look to the right, 1, 2 candles that are lower it. This is, for me, is a swing point. Right here, you see this low. You have 1, 2 candles that are higher than it on the right, 1, 2 candles that are higher than it on the left. To me, this is a swing point. Right? Another swing point right here. You got 2 candles to the left that's lower, 2 candles to the right that's lower. Right here is another swing point. Right here is another swing point. Right here is another swing point, right? So these are all bases of your structure, basis of structure. And a lot of people aren't going to, tell you this, or not even that, have the realization of what's actually going on. You really don't need indicators to show you swing points. Swing points are in the basis of 5 candles. So 1 candle, that candle in the middle is higher, boom, boom. 2 candles to the left lower, 2 candles to the right lower, that's the swing point. Now, you can get very into detail and go into detail with, right here, where 2 candles to the left, 2 candles to the right, swing points, right? But this is minor structure. This is minor structure. So how I do what I do, and again, right here is another swing point. 1, 2, 1, 2. The reason why I know this is minor structure is because the swing point to the left of it is higher, right? So I know that this is just a pullback. But anyways, that's neither here or there. How do I get into EURUSD or other respective trades that I really, really like, but they don't have a directional bias based off of the volume profile? I look for supply and demand candles, and I trade them every which way. So if you're looking at EURUSD, it's been consolidating. Got out with a consolidation, continuation with the sells, right? So going into this week, just going to reverse it right here. Going into this week, this is when the market closed on Friday. I am analyzing and I am marking up potential swing points. Marking up potential, again, every time I do a video, I always get a phone call. Marking up potential swing points. So like I marked up previous to, marking up swing points. So this is one of my swing points where I would like to see price get to before selling, right? This is another swing point where I like to see price to get to before selling. This is actually really, really ugly. Let me clear, highlight. This is the price where I like to get, this point where I like the price to get to before selling, right here and right here, right? Again, all swing points. there's really no demand for price to bounce off of that is fairly close. So I'm not even looking for I'm not even looking for buys. I'm literally all I'm looking for is sells. Because again, there's nowhere demand wise anywhere close. The last demand candle that price could potentially bounce off of is 2022. I don't care about that. I don't look that far to the left of the market because it's just not appealing to me, right? So potential places or potential zones where price can bounce off of, and then from there I'm just highlighting it. All right, and then when price gets to these areas, I'm looking how price reacts to this area. All right, so I'm setting an alert for these areas in particular. And let me again just clean it up a little bit so you can see it's clear as day. I'm setting an alert for when price gets to these areas. Now I hit play. Now what do you see? You got a 1, 2 candle, a seller's candle, 1, 2, a buyer's candle. So when price does tap into one of my areas, now I'm looking for price to potentially bounce off of this low to either continue higher or pull a retracement and then come back down. Now, as you can see, Monday price got up to that area. Going down to the 15-minute or whatever time you want to trade. And I'm turning on my indicator. All right, boom, price got to the 15-minute, turn on my indicator, price had to change of character. What am I doing? I'm waiting for a pullback. All right, got my alert for my pullback. Right here. And now I'm entering in for sells, of course. And my target is going to be, you guessed it, somewhere in this demand candle right here. And it's probably going to be 50% of it, truth be told. But let's just say target this low. All right. So now I'm holding and I'm taking partials. If price hits me out, okay, cool, whatever. I get it. If price doesn't hit me out, then I know it just wants to reprice higher. So with this trade, this is actually how I made, how much was it? I'm up 1,200 right now because the trade is still going. But I'm in this trade currently right now. And literally was just off of supply and demand candles. Supply and demand candles, order blocks, whatever you call it. I call it supply and demand candles. And literally just holding it. All right. So no intro, no outro, just straight fire.